you should already know what this is. And for those of you that aren't, just chill. See, we're going to get down to the other stuff here in a second. But what I'm always trying to get everybody to understand is everything is vibration. So, before we do anything else, just vibe. Yeah, man. Welcome to 2024. And we don't want more. No. We want it all. But the vibe comes first. Did you miss me? Katie West, we blessed. Beats by Bless Zone Now Music, man. I've been trying to get myself right. I really been like sick since Christmas. Had a nasty chest cold or flu or COVID again or something. But we shaking it. And 2024 is a money-making year. Especially that first half of 2024, which we're going to talk about it. We're going to take just a few more minutes to let a few more people trickle in. And then we're going to get down to the nitty-gritty. Now, today, the nitty-gritty is going to consist of us touching on the transits and elaborating on the aspects that might be affecting you. But then we're going to go all the way down through 2024. And I'm going to give you the astrological forecast for the whole year. That means I'm going to go through the whole year and give you specific dates for every important transit that's going to be going down. So we're going to be here for a while. And you might even need your pen and pad. Yeah. But I'm going to put you on game. Just make sure y'all hit the like button. And in doing so, understand, this is not about ego. Nah. This is about algorithm. This just helps us expand the platform. That way, if you're not trying to hear what I'm trying to say, at least we can get out to the next motherfucker who is. Oh, my lighter. If you haven't smiled yet today, now would be the perfect time to do so. Yo, I mean, like right now. can't find a smile for yourself, shit. Just allow me to be the smile on your face. Because at the end of the day, all I am is the smile on your face. All I am is the motherfucking vibe. And if it look good, it feel even better, baby. Just let it seep in. We finna talk about it. But you have to let that vibe sizzle in your spirit first. You gotta feel me to be able to understand this. It is what it is, though. I'm still able to compile a smile. Bye. All right. One more time. Yeah. Just let it seep in. And it's about 2 minutes from it being that time for you to open up your ear and let me crawl into your mind. Like I said, we're going to touch on the transits and elaborate on the aspects that might be affecting you. But then, I'm going to take you all the way down through 2024. We're going to look at specific dates for every important astrological transit throughout the year. Go get your motherfucking pen and pad ready. This affects you. You hear me? Then after that, if we have time, we'll open the floor for questions. All right. But I'm not going to give an interpretation for every fucking transit. All right. I'm going to need to be looking at the aspects at that target date before I can tell you what's going on. And that won't happen until when it's happening. You hear me? But, come to Papa. And before I go any further, while I speak on 2024, I said this on my Facebook, but I want to say it again here. There's this narrative going around that 2024 is a karmic year because 2024 is an 8 year, and the 8 is ruled by Saturn, and Saturn makes it karmic. Let me tell you something. First of all, only in certain Vedic principles do the numbers have planetary rulers, and even then it's kind of off. All right, the 2 is a lot more like Venus, and the 6 is more like the moon, but the 2 is ruled by the moon, and the 6 is ruled by Venus. All right, and we don't use that. To be honest with you, while both astrology and numerology are awesome tools, and I use both, I'm a professional in using both. While those are awesome tools, they are not inherently connected. Like it doesn't just go like that. And the qualities of the number 8 do not reflect the qualities of Saturn in astrology. Saturn represents hardships, time, mastery, fear, karma, right? But here's the thing. Every year is karmic. Every month is karmic. Every week is karmic. Every day is karmic, motherfucker. Karma is just you living out your life. Karma is not consequences. All right? That's the truth. Now, the qualities of the number 8 are extreme. They're powerful, they're magnetic, they're intense. If you don't utilize or control that energy, it could be destructive. So it reflects a lot more like Pluto energy than Saturn energy. So the 8 is not Saturn. And this is not a Saturn year, even though Saturn is going to be a prominent theme for a lot of people this year. You hear me? Now, this is the year of the dragon. It's a year of extremes. It's a year of change. That's guaranteed. Now, how do you handle that? That's what Saturn wants to know. How do you handle extreme circumstances internally? When shit is chaotic and things seem like, it's not working out in your favor. What are you going to do when you don't have those usual coping mechanisms, those usual escapist tendencies? When you're not able to fall into the bliss of ignorance? That's what Saturn in Pisces wants to know. It's all about what's going on inside. And we'll talk more about it, of course. Now, the sun. This is the perfect vibe for this. The sun now sits at 12 degrees of Capricorn. Now, here's the thing with this. You have to discipline yourself to take care of the things that you need to take care of. You need to discipline your energy so that you have enough to take care of everything you need to take care of. If not, you're going to be real frustrated. Now, if you get on top of your shit and be grown, then you will be properly rewarded. But if you are too busy competing and comparing to everybody else, you're going to end up feeling fucked up. I'm talking about fucking frustrated. That's the sun in Capricorn. Now, what's interesting is over these next 5 days, so from now until Monday, the sun is going to be going through this square with Chiron. So people are going to be more aware of problems, more aware of conflicts, especially this being Capricorn and Aries. And with this ain't Cancer and Libra, baby. We'll talk about the moon in a second, but this ain't Cancer and Libra. This is stuff that's going to have to be addressed and confronted. And it's just a part of being mature and taking care of business. You have to hold yourself accountable for whatever the conflict is. Be aware of the situation and take action. And when I say action, disciplined action towards resolving whatever's going on. And see, with the Sun square to Chiron, you're going to be aware that something is going on. Something is going on. You hear me? And then you also have to look at the nature of Capricorn and Aries. You could also see this thing right here where you need to be disciplined, but impulse leads you into making a mistake where you learn the lesson from that. Chiron and Aries, the impulse or rushing something or forcing something or the lack of will keeps you from being properly rewarded. So all of that is something you have to take into incorporation inside yourself and feel like, man, I can conquer anything. But before you can conquer anything externally, you have to deal with the conflict internally. I don't think you hear me, though. Yeah, I know. Now, when it comes to the moon will also come into this opposition with Chiron and a square with the sun later on this evening, or really tonight for most of us here in the United States. Look, it's not a big deal. You just need to think about your actions. Think about what you're doing and take a disciplined approach. And the moon in Libra is good for that. As crazy as it is, even though the moon represents emotion, the moon in Libra allows you to separate your emotions from your decision-making process. Largely, the moon in Libra is unemotional because the feelings are so refined that they fall into the domain of the mind. Objectified emotions. Now, balance is always key. Balance is always key. So in order for you to balance out the things that are just ruminating constantly with the moon in Libra and with the sun in Capricorn, because you have plans that you wanted to put into place. You have things that you want. There's business to be had, especially at this time of the year. Everybody's back to work. The holidays, whatever holiday you celebrated, that shit's over with. For the people that are in the lower or middle classes here in America, them W-2s ain't gonna come for a couple more weeks. 3-4 more weeks, and then you're gonna have to wait, at least a week or so before you really get your money. You might get that tax loan, but tax time ain't here yet. So this is that grind in between. And this is where people are taking care of business and getting their stuff together, getting their paperwork together, getting their responsibilities in order, getting the things that they want to accomplish in the mix for the rest of the year. This is that time where, hey, this is planning. And if you can effectively discipline yourself, then you can make yourself be really profitable or productive this year. Or you take both profitable and productive and you put them together and you be prosperous. But I also want to say one of the most important things to do with the moon in Libra, and while it's largely unaspected for the next 6 hours, 7 hours, I know a lot of us are in our work day, so we're not going to be able to just be by ourselves. But what I want you to do is put yourself in some type of environment or a mindset, if you can't get into a different environment, that is aesthetically pleasing to you. And that will allow you to separate what's going on with you from the environment and from other people. and from all the other stuff going on. Heather Nielsen, the commissioner of the ViBe tribe. Hey, I saw your email. I just didn't answer any emails. I ain't gonna lie to you. Merry Christmas to you and happy holidays to your family. It's all beautiful. But yeah, just over these next few hours, try to find something that evens you out, balances you out, makes you feel good, and that will really aid you in making it throughout the rest of the day. And it will also aid you in your decision-making process, and will aid you in finding an appropriate balance between thoughts and emotions. Because your feelings are so sensitive here that it's really hard to separate the two. That's why that balance is needed with the moon in Libra. Yeah. Now, that brings us to Mercury. And Mercury is doing some interesting things here, because Mercury is stationed at 22 degrees of Sagittarius. And it's going to sit here for at least another 3 days, 2 days really. And then it'll kind of go to 23. But Mercury is stationed direct, but it's still in that shadow phase. It's not moving like Mercury be moving, where it's going through 2 degrees in a day. Or 1.5 degrees every day at least. So while we're sitting here at 22 degrees of Sagittarius, I want you to look at whatever placement you have at 22 degrees, because this is that critical degree. That 22nd degree is not really kill or be kill. It's more like to be or not to be. Either you're going to use it or it's going to be a problem for you. And with this being Sagittarius, either you're going to be able to see the big picture or you're going to miss the whole motherfucking point. With Mercury here at 22 degrees of Sagittarius, there's a very thin line between being bluntly honest and being openly offensive. You have to realize that even though it's your honest point of view, it doesn't make that true. And that's a big thing with Mercury and Sagittarius. Just because this is your honest point of view doesn't make it true. For instance, yesterday I was with the people in Star, and I was pressing buttons. And when I say pressing buttons, I mean instigating things, which I have a tendency to do. And so I'm, kind of talking shit or whatever. And I see Joe Alley, who is the creator of Star and one of my colleagues, and she will be here within the next few weeks. I know I promised it back then, but things fell out. She got busy. She will be here to give financial advice, to talk a little bit about tarot, to talk a little bit about monetizing your talents, because she has been able to build something successful several times over. And when I say several times over, I mean she'll build it up, get it how she wants it, something to go down, and she have to do it all over again, or she'll get frustrated with it, tear it all down, and do it over again. And so she will be here to talk about that type of thing. But what was happening yesterday is I woke up, I seen her make a little post that said, astrology ain't everything. So as soon as I saw that, I'm like, man, oh, that ain't flying. That ain't flying in my presence. And so what I did is I messaged her first. And not only because I do that out of respect, but also because I was in Facebook jail. I've been zucked or in Facebook jail for the last 3 days for bullying. Anyway, so there's Mercury retrograde got me. They already had me in Facebook jail for bullying, and I only had like 2 hours left, and I was about to be released. And so I see her post that, and so I immediately messaged her. I said, hey, astrology is everything to the people that know how to use it, and I'm finna go say that to you right now. As soon as I get out of Facebook jail, I'm finna go post this. So I know and she's the Aries, so the battle lines have already been drawn. It's already letting it be known right there. Wait, I'm finna go argue with you, and most of it is because it's her platform. I'm just pressing buttons, like I said, and instigating. It's her platform. It's her group. I have the utmost respect for her. But she doesn't get challenged much. And for people that don't understand, they're going to think she doesn't get challenged because this and this and this. And I just started talking, you know, just messing with her like, nah, they scared. You know what I'm saying? They clones. They yes men. That's why. But I don't really feel like that. I was saying that as a defense technique or manipulative mechanism in order to keep them from dogpiling me. I'm one of the only males in that group. And they will attack your ass. Like, it is not a safe place for males. And the fact that I'm an admin there and I'm so accepted and loved is really a testimony to her and to myself. And it could go away just like that. They a pack of wild dogs in there. Them bitches do not play. And so I know that if I go argue with her, everybody's gonna agree with her. And they gonna be on my ass. But it's because she has that influence. It's something she has built up. It's not because they're yes men. It's not because they're clones. But by me saying so, what that does is that keeps so many of them from jumping on her side, because then that's what you're doing. It creates a manipulation in a person's mind that, I better not say that because I would just be in a yes man. They have to ask themselves before they can come side with her and start talking shit to me because I'm arguing with her. They have to ask themselves, am I just being a yes man? Am I just being a clone? And my intelligence knows that I'm a very manipulative person. Hold on. I'm a very manipulative person, so I know that. So I throw that in the mix. You know? But the problem is, there's going to be some people that take offense. Not everybody's going to just fall for the manipulation. So I argued with her. She did exactly what she said she's gonna do. When I told her that I was gonna go argue with her, she said, I'm gonna screenshot this. She said, I know she's powerful and manipulative in her own way. She said, I'm gonna screenshot this and I'm gonna go post it and I'm gonna go argue with you by myself since you're in Facebook jail. She said, I'm gonna go screenshot this and then I'm gonna go post it and I'm gonna go argue with you myself since you're in jail. So basically, I'm like, I was gonna be behind already. And I'm like, man, all right, they ain't gonna do nothing but, you know what I'm saying? I get in my little feelings a little bit. I'm like, they ain't gonna do nothing but start agreeing with you anyway, because they ain't shit but yes men. And at that moment in time, I felt like that. But that's not true. They're not yes men or yes women. They are her people that she has inspired in her following that she had built up, just like y'all here with me. And so I say that, and then people start talking shit. But I'm so caught up in the argument and what I'm saying, and I believe what I'm saying. I'm honestly expressing myself, but what I'm saying is not true. It's just not true. But I'm also being honest. That's the perfect example of this 22nd degree, or of Mercury and Sagittarius in its own right. You got to be careful with that. You got to be careful with that. And also, you have to be aware that, as I said before, there's a very fine line between being bluntly honest and being openly offensive. That's something to remember. And Mercury is still square to Neptune. And Mercury's going to be square to Neptune for, another week or so. Or at least, 6 days. So people are going to be saying shit off the cuff. People are going to be speaking their mind. People are going to be feeling some type of way. And a lot of it They feel that way, but that doesn't make it real or true. This is Sagittarius and Pisces. This could be a facade or an idealization. Now, the beautiful thing with this is your imagination is on fire. But don't let imaginative issues or imaginative pressure cause you to fall into a mental confusion. Now, the best thing you can do is use your imagination and take this energy and be creative with it. If you have any type of creative talent, use this creatively. It's the best thing to do for you. Now, that brings us to Venus. And we got this badass Sagittarius stellium. Because now Venus is sitting at 5 degrees of Sagittarius. Now let me tell you about Venus and Sagittarius. Look, Venus in Sagittarius is all about the experience. It's not about the person. It's about the experience. But with these experiences, you can idealize individuals and situations. And then when that glow or when that glitter falls off, that shit just starts to look not, you know, what's up? And then things start to look better elsewhere. That's Venus in Sagittarius. So you have to be careful not to over-idealize things or over-idealize people. You have to make it a principle to keep it real with yourself. You hear me? Make it a principle to keep it real with you. Now, the beautiful thing is this is going to be fun, adventurous energy. People want to try different stuff. It can be very positive. Lucky even. But you have to be willing to try. And for some people, that's hard. Like for me, Venus is conjunct my Saturn right now. Really, I got a whole bunch of shit going on with correlations and mutual receptions and shit. But that's beside the fact. Enjoy this right here. Now, once again, when I speak on over-idealizations, I speak on that because Venus is also square to Saturn in Pisces. So, with this right here, I don't want to call it a conflict between the truth and the lie. I want to call it a conflict between fun and fear. You could have so much motherfucking fun if you wasn't so motherfucking scared. Your relationships would be so much motherfucking better if you would motherfucking deal with your own internal issues. Sometimes that's the realization you get. You realize, you know what, I'm not ready for a true commitment because I'm not right. That's not a bad thing. People look at everything as a, look, man, because you're not with the person you're supposed to be with forever right now doesn't mean that your life is in a bad place. Even if you're 40, 50 years old. That's the truth. You might be being prepared for something even better. Maybe your purpose isn't in a relationship. Remember that. But this right here means you can also, with Venus square to Saturn, and this being Venus in Sagittarius square to Saturn in Pisces, this is where you can see the big picture. This is where there might be some conflicts. This is the beautiful picture painted with this energy. There might be some type of conflict or something that comes up between people where you get to see past the bullshit and see the big picture and see that the unconditional love is what matters. The love that y'all have is what's important, not that other stuff. And there's positivity in that. There's spiritual connection in that. It's like, man, you know what? We've been tripping about some little shit. We've been going through some stupid shit. Look at the big picture. I fucking love you. I love your dirty draws, motherfucker. You know, not only has it been my lady's birthday on Christmas, but over this whole holiday. And Venus has been on my Saturn, I guess, now for like 5 days, 6 days, a week or so. Because that conjunction, it'll be there for, you know, another week or so. But it hasn't necessarily been negative. It's really, for me personally, been like a confirmation, like, damn. That's my forever right there. Damn. A lot of the shit we trip about ain't even big deals because we don't have a lot of the problems that other couples have. Me and my lady ain't got to worry about cheating on each other. We don't have that. A lot of this shit that y'all go through, or I have to go through his phone and I be calling this motherfucker. Like, that's some immature bullshit. Like, we don't go through that shit. My lady can pick my motherfucking phone up and answer it like it's hers. Damn it. And I'm fucking proud of that because I haven't always been that way. And I don't pick up her phone because I you know, I don't need to, one. And two, I'm just not like that. Even when things weren't that, but I trust her. Like, we don't have those type of problems. Nobody's doing sneaky shit. Like, a lot of these shit people argue about, this crazy shit, like, that shit is unfathomable in my household. We have power tripping arguments where we're arguing about money stuff, or we're arguing about don't tell me this, don't tell me that, or we're spatting about who told the kids something, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't do this, or don't, you know what I'm saying, don't talk to him like this, or I already told him this, or, you know, little stupid power tripping shit. But we don't have that other shit going on that a lot of people deal with. You know, we don't have addiction issues anymore. We don't even have major financial issues. We go through stuff. We still don't have a car right now because we got wrecked into, but we deal with things as we progress healthily. But this Venus conjunct to my Saturn for me has been an honest realization of the big picture. Like, man, that right there, that's my forever. It's not my peace. I'm more like her peace most of the time. That's my drive. But that's my forever. Like, plain and simple. Even on the bad days. Like, she pisses me the off. I said the fuck off. Pardon me. She pisses me the fuck off sometimes. I'm talking about, I get highly aggravated because my lady is a Capricorn with Venus in Scorpio. Like, she is a force of nature with Aries rising. And she can be very controlling. She could be very, very aggressive even. And when you have certain old school mindsets and dynamics, you kind of get into that thing where, especially for me, my defense mechanism growing up, because of my sensitivity and because of all the water that I have, is aggression. And not assault. I'm talking about aggression. You know what I'm saying? Attitude. Not hurting people or abusing people or hitting anyone. So it's like, you trying to tell me something, my automatic thing is catch an attitude with your ass. Like, hey man, you ain't telling me nothing. I'm a motherfucking man. You get what I mean? But never in those processes is, man, fuck this motherfucker, I'll leave. It's never, oh, like, nah. Man, like, we don't even think about that type of shit. We go in the other room. It's your old school love. And I'm not bragging on my relationship. I'm talking about Venus conjunct to Saturn in my chart. And then Venus square to Saturn for everybody else here. See, Venus square to Saturn is more or less like, hey man, we need to get real about something. We need to get real. It's a sobering reality check about your relationship or even your financial situation. I have Venus conjunct to my Saturn in my second house. I just spent a whole bunch of fucking money this last weekend for the holidays. Like, I was like, damn. But I also understand that's how money works. I'll make more. I'm not gonna sit up here and let my mind go to tripping about that type of shit. So it's been a sobering reality check, but it's been something that is helpful in my maturation process. How do you do that for you with Venus square to Saturn? Now, let's talk about Mars, baby. Because Mars is doing some interesting things. Because Mars now sits at 29 degrees of Sagittarius. So, we're anoretic. We're in that last burst of this Mars and Sagittarius energy. So, this is where you take this inspiration. Whatever it is that you have. And you let this be the fuel that pushes you to success when Mars goes exalted in Capricorn. Oh, and I am a Mars in Capricorn, so it's getting good. Today, use this energy to find your inspiration. Let that inspiration be what guides you to true success when Mars exalts itself in Capricorn. Yeah. However you feeling, put it to use. Yeah. Now, that's my shit. That puts us to Jupiter. And let me tell you about Jupiter. Jupiter is going to be a lot of people's saving grace right now, especially myself. Especially myself. Jupiter is direct now at 5 degrees of Taurus. And it's not moving like Jupiter moves. It's still shadow, but we shaking off that bullshit, that complacency, that laziness, that feeling stuck. And we start to slowly process things. Now, the beautiful thing about Jupiter and Taurus is this is a calming effect. It's a safe space. Calm the fuck down. You're gonna be all right. Matter of fact, you can enjoy this if you allow yourself to. That's Jupiter in Taurus. Be patient, be receptive, be cool, calm, collective. And you might collect. And look, for me personally, I have Jupiter sitting, just like Saturn is sitting conjunct my natal Saturn. I mean, not conjunct my natal Saturn. I have Saturn conjunct my moon, square my natal Saturn, trine my sun in Pluto, sextile my Neptune all at the same time. See, Jupiter is opposite my Pluto, sextile my sun, sextile my moon, trine my Neptune. So everything Saturn is doing, I got Jupiter there like a common effect. Like, nah, baby, just chill out. Like, you gonna be okay. You gonna be okay. Just chill the fuck, and it's gonna help me, because I'm gonna go through all of that stuff I've been worried about with Saturn over the next 6 weeks. Over the next 6 weeks, all this stuff I've been worried about for a whole year is gonna come to a culmination with Saturn coming into its only direct conjunction exactly with my moon. And it'll never do it again for another 30 years. But the beautiful thing is just as Saturn's coming through here, Jupiter's gonna be right along with it. Or not far behind, sextile and everything, calming it down. You're gonna be all right. You're safe, you're protected. Be patient with yourself. And that's what Jupiter is going to do with it being sextile to Saturn for all of us right now. See, Jupiter at 5 degrees of Taurus is sextile to Saturn at 3 degrees of Pisces. So there is refuge. You just got to calm yourself the fuck down. Remember to enjoy life. Wherever you, and here's the trick. Wherever you have Saturn and Pisces in your chart right now, wherever you have 3 degrees of Pisces, all right? Let's say 3 to 8 degrees of Pisces. All right? Whatever house that is, Jupiter is going to be 2 houses away from that. At 5 degrees of Taurus, 6 degrees of Taurus, 7 degrees of Taurus, 8 degrees of Taurus. And what that does, whatever house that Jupiter is in, you're going to use that to calm you down in whatever way Saturn is fucking with you. And that is how you make it do what it do. Now, I can't give you the rest of the game, but this is what, and it's not natural. It's not a trine. So it's not going to be automatic. You have to calm yourself down. You have to find whatever house that 5 through 9 degrees of Taurus is going to be for you. And you use that area of life to calm you down and help you heal whatever Saturn is doing to you 2 houses away from there. All right. Now, I need a few more of y'all to hit that motherfucking like button for me. Now, speaking of Saturn, Saturn is at 3 degrees of Pisces. And ain't nothing changed. Saturn is really sitting where Saturn has sat for a whole fucking year. Life is still doing what life was. What are you doing to deal with it healthily? If you're ignoring whatever you got going on, you ain't dealing with it healthily. If you're avoiding healing situations with people, you ain't dealing with it healthily. If you are still looking at substances as coping mechanisms, you ain't dealing with it healthily. That's the truth. I'm going to tell you once again. Saturn and Pisces ain't got shit to do with what's going on externally in the world. Pisces is about the internal. You hear me? What you gonna do? And Uranus is the only planet that's retrograde right now at 19 degrees of Taurus. And Uranus is going to be retrograde for 3 more weeks, so really till the 27th. So you have 3 more weeks to take inventory. Take stock of what you have to work with, who you are, what you're willing to do. Because things could get chaotic and crazy real quick here. When I tell you there's some major stuff going on here in a few weeks, shit, it's some major shit going on. For real. Some major. And I'm, of course, going to tell you about it. Hold up. But, let me fix this. With Neptune. Neptune is now sitting at 25 degrees of Pisces. And, look. Things can get really confusing if you're focused on other people. Because your expectations can misconstrue reality. People's projections can misconstrue your perception of self or your purpose of what you're supposed to be doing. And all of that can be nullified if you look for your answers inside of yourself instead of looking for validation in the culture or externally. If you're focused on what's going on in the world, you'll never know what's real. You'll never know what's real. The base reality lives inside of you. It exists inside of you. The ultimate is inside of you. The rest of this is just an energy hologram. It's a projection. That's the truth. Yeah. Now, Pluto is at 29 degrees of Capricorn. And look, with Pluto here at that anoretic, this is where we're down to the bare minimum. This is where that frustration is sitting on the surface. It's not simmering. You can see the discontent on people's faces. They're tired of the same old shit. People want change. And you could be so frustrated that shit has to change. You could be in such a low point where you have to find some way to discipline yourself. But even more than that, as I've kind of been telling y'all, as we are in this 29th degree of Capricorn, this is where this frustration that a lot of people are feeling is going to bring about this tremendous change of pace and mindset that comes with Pluto in Aquarius, which we'll talk about here in just a few minutes. Now, Chiron is at 15 degrees of Aries. So we have found awareness. We are holding ourselves accountable. Now that Chiron is direct, you have to take steps towards really resolving conflicts and addressing your situations. That awareness and accountability ain't enough. You still need action. Aries is going to be action. Action. You hear me? Now, the Black Moon Lilith is at 10 degrees of Virgo. So people could be missing the forest for the trees. People could be stuck on one little detail and be missing the whole fucking point. People could be overthinking situations, overanalyzing situations, over-criticizing other people. They could be over-analytical and over-critical, over-technical. You could hear people so worried about other people that they're making all types of mistakes themselves. You can see people struggling with intimacy. You can see frenetic energy causing nervous problems. You can see nerve issues. Hell, I've had nerve issues since Lilith came into Virgo. But it is what it is. Now, we next come to the North Nodes. And when we're talking about the North Node, we are automatically addressing the South Node in the opposition that they have to each other. But the North Node now sits at 20 degrees of Aries. You know, that means we are a third of the way through this. That means we have about 1 year, a little bit over a year, probably about 13 months left of this North Node journey through Aries. So for this next year, people are going to learn how to do what's best for them. They're going to be forced to do what's best for them, regardless of what's going on with the next motherfucker. People going to have to address their needs. You're going to have to confront certain things. It is what it is. But you'll be all right. There's some actualization that comes in that process. There's empowerment to be had. Now, when it comes to the numerology of the day, we are in that 3 vibration. Actually, throughout the whole month of January, whatever the date is also going to be the path for that day or the vibration of that day. So even when we get to 14th and the 15th, that 14 will have a karmic dip 14 attached to it, but it'll be a 5. That 15 will be a 6. The 26th will be an 8. The 31st will be a 4. And that's because you have the 1. The month is a 1. And then you have the day, the year, all right, is going to be an 8. So when you take that 9, that brings that other energy out of the mix, and it makes the date the central point for determining what's going on with that. And you'll be able to always figure it out like that. But I ain't gonna be telling y'all all my tricks. You hear me? Bye. Now, what I need everybody to do is get you a pen pad if you're going to do this, if you're going to take some of these dates down. Because for the next however long, what I'm going to do is take us all the way through 2024, and we're going to look at every important astrological transit that's going to go down. I'm talking about every one for the whole year. And I'm not going to give interpretations for every one. All right? I'm not going to do that, but what I'm going to do is give you dates. So you know as everything's going down. And then as we come into that energy, we'll look at it interpretatively at that time. All right? So I had to write them down myself. I love you. It took a little bit of work to put this together. And if you love me, we need to make sure we still hitting that super chat. I ain't seen a super chat in a month or two. Shit. Hitting that motherfucking CashApp, that Venmo, that PayPal, and this. It's just a matter of respect. I ain't even gonna talk no shit, but it's just a matter of respect. You hear me? Just because it's priceless don't mean it's free. You hear me? We finna go through every important astrological transit of 2024. Y'all let me know when y'all ready. You got your pen and pads handy. Tina Claire Marie is ready. Go share this on whatever social media platform you fuck with the most, or in whatever Facebook groups you happen to be a part of. Yeah. Jasky say he's screen recording it. Smart man. We're finna get started in. Let me check the music. Yeah, 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Now, let's talk a little bit about 2024. So, starting off in the month of January, what we have first of all is tomorrow, January 4th, Mars will ingress into Capricorn where it is exalted. And that means that is going to be one of the most efficient and productive ways to use Mars's energy. All right. And Mars will be in Capricorn for about 5.5, 6 weeks. All right. We do not have a Mars retrograde. No, we don't have. We do have a Mars retrograde. We don't have a Venus retrograde for 2024. Now, on January 11th, which happens to be my daughter's birthday, we have a new moon in Capricorn at 21 degrees. So wherever you have 21 degrees of Capricorn, you finna get what would I call that? An inspired application of that energy. Now, the beautiful thing about that is for me personally, That's on my Mars. My Mars is 21 degrees of Capricorn. So I have that new moon conjunct my Mars. And I need that. That's like, hey, reset, power up. You all right. Looking forward to it. Now, I appreciate the love, Pisces, Princess's Paranormal Playground. Respect. Now, on January 13th, Mercury will enter Capricorn. And Mercury spends about 3 weeks in every sign. All right? So that's when people are going to be having their mind on their money and their mind on practical matters and their mind on taking care of business. And it's going to be a lot more serious. Now, on January 20th, the sun will enter into Aquarius. But y'all need to mark January 20th on your calendars because this is one of the biggest days of your whole motherfucking life. Matter of fact, it's one of the biggest days of the last 300-400 years. Because on January 20th, both the sun and Pluto will enter into Aquarius within 3 hours of each other. And that's not something that happens very often. That is going to be a tremendous energetic shift. Something big might happen that day. Something might change that day for whatever reason. It doesn't mean that it's going to be something but there's something that's going to change. On January 20th, in 17 days, both the sun and Pluto will ingress into Aquarius at the same time. And that's unprecedented. Since people have known about Pluto, it's never happened. It's happened before because we can look back now and kind of figuratively chart the transits. But even then, you couldn't know. We know we're having it right now. We know this represents a tremendous change of pace and mindset. Follow me? That's something's gonna change. Something big is going down for those few days right there. You need to pay attention to that. Now, on January 23rd, Venus enters Capricorn. And that's when whatever you got going on needs to mean something. It has to be about something. All right. On January 25th, we have a full moon in Leo. All right. And then lastly, for January, on the 27th, we have Mercury and Mars conjunct to each other in Capricorn. And I also want to say that that right there could also, and I know people that want to file their taxes, and I'm not predicting this. I'm saying this is a possibility. That could be also where there's some type of government shutdown, or where after a shutdown because they couldn't come to an agreement, it finally opens back up. That Mercury-Mars conjunction, opens things back up and gets things moving more progressively for the powers that be. But that also right there is a very serious day where people are going to be talking business. Now, moving into February of 2024. And I need a few more of y'all to hit that like button for me. The frequency is on February 4th Mercury is going to ingress into Aquarius, where Mercury is exalted. So that's where your mind comes alive. It's where you start to have new ideas. It's where you might even start to think a little bit differently. Just see things from a new perspective. That opens up a whole bunch of different doors for a whole bunch of different people, because guess what? An open mind is a fertile pasture. A fertile field. You can plant any crop there. Any crop. Now, here's what's interesting. On the 5th, Mercury will conjunct Pluto in Aquarius. Exactly. Now, it'll be conjunct loosely before that, but this is where it comes into that exact conjunction. So this is where you might find something out. We might find something out. This is where some new information changes the way things are perceived, or changes the way that people collectively think. And that could mean something could happen for a lot of different people in different ways, or it can mean something happens collectively where it's like, oh shit, that shit's real. Like, is that shit real? Something like that. Now, that doesn't mean that's what it's going to be. It could also be something, something that hits all of us in our own individual way. Now, on February 9th, we have a new moon in Aquarius. Loosely conjunct to both Mercury and Pluto. So I'm telling you, like, things could get weird for those days. Things are going to be really interesting. To be honest with you, this first half of 2024 is like, whoa. And things chill out later on. And they tend to do that because we're going to the retrograde season, and things we get to reflect on, damn, like, things really changed this time. Like, nobody expects things to really change, but things really changed this time. And so that's interesting. And speaking of change, on February 10th is the Chinese New Year, where we come into the year of the dragon. We leave the year of the rabbit, come into the year of the dragon. And that is a time of change, of power, empowerment, maybe even conflict, of fire. Quite interesting. On February 12th, Mars will enter into Aquarius. So yeah, Mars will be in Capricorn for about 5 weeks. On February 16th, Venus will enter into Aquarius and conjunct Mars. And conjunct Pluto. So Venus, Mars, Pluto will all be conjunct in Aquarius. I want you to think about that. I'm telling you, things could get really, really different these first 6 weeks or 8 weeks of the year. Like, things are going to get really different. And it doesn't even mean anything has to happen externally. Something can change inside of you, in your mindset, the way you view things. On February 18th, the sun will ingress into Pisces. Yeah. Pisces season begins. On February 21st, 2024, Venus will conjunct to Mars exactly in Aquarius again. On February 22nd, Mercury will enter Pisces. And that's where your thoughts become so fucking feeling oriented and influenced. Now, on February 24th, 2024, the 24th, 2024, we have a full moon in Virgo, opposite to Saturn. Loosely opposite to Saturn, but it's there. It's there. And that's forgiveness and healing. On February 28th, and this is a leap year, by the way. There is a February 29th in 2024. Remember that. But on February 28th, the sun will conjunct Saturn in Pisces. That's interesting to me because that right there will be signifying me being done with Saturn conjunct my moon exactly. It'll still be 2 degrees away, but we'll be past it and it'll never come back. And so that's something that I'm marking on my calendar personally. Saturn will be off my moon for the next 30 years. And I for one couldn't be more happy about anything. Nothing. Now, when it comes to March 2024, this is one of the more chill ones. We'll have Mercury conjunct Neptune in Pisces on the 8th of March. That's interesting for the creative implications, but it's also interesting because of the confusion. On March 9th, 2024, Mercury will enter Aries. So I want y'all to mark that because I know it doesn't seem like a big deal, but when we go from Mercury conjunct Neptune in Pisces to Mercury entering Aries, this is where it's like people switched up. Like all of a sudden, motherfucker got an attitude. All of a sudden, it's like, damn. And I want you to note that because now you understand what's happening. All right. With you and Globe, it's like all of a sudden something that was peaceful or something that never got resolved becomes aggressive. And people start to say exactly what they mean without much tact. Just a second. I have to yell, y'all. Sorry. Junior! Did y'all hate when y'all's parents called you like that when y'all was kids?
Sure.
Let me put this out. Take Chief to use the restroom. Okay, Daddy? Huh? Take him out, walk him around, take him around in front of Edwin's. Walk through the middle part. Go all the way to the grass over there. Walk him down the grass one time, bring him home. Sorry, y'all. The dog keeps barking and I can hear. I don't know if y'all can hear, but I can hear the dog barking. And that means he wants to go out. And they'll sit there and just ignore him all day. But yeah. Where were we? On March 10th, we have a new moon in Pisces. All right? And that right there is a beautiful, you know, self-care day. That's what you need that day. Heal, listen to music, find your vibe inside of yourself. After everything that's going on, forgive yourself. Forgive other people. What else we got? On March 11th, Venus ingresses into Pisces, where it is exalted. And that, once again, is just lovely, lovely, forgiving energy. It's unconditional love. It's where, like, you know what? That shit we was tripping about don't even fucking matter. Our connection is what matters. What's up, Natalie Cruz? Now, on March 19th, we have the spring equinox, or the astrological new year. And the sun will enter into Aries. Aries season begins. Yeah. On March 21st, Venus will conjunct Saturn in Pisces. So that's where a lot of people are going to realize or come to terms with some of their insecurities, whether it be within self or with the relationships. And it also could be where people is like, man, I feel like that. I feel so strongly that I have to find some type of way to creatively employ it. On March 22nd, Mars enters Pisces. And that's when motherfuckers don't know what the fuck they want to do. On March 25th, 2024, we have our first eclipse of the year. And that's a full lunar eclipse in Libra. All right. Now, that brings us to April. And I've heard some people say war in April, like Empress Adele, Mother of John, just did, but I don't know yet. I don't know if we'll have real direct warfare for another year or so. I believe that it will come, and I'm I'm not trying to fearmonger, but I believe it'll be another year or so. There's still certain political processes that have to happen. You can't just all of a sudden it goes like that. Even if there was some type of attack, there still would be a political process within a few months of that. There might be something that happens retaliatory, but there could be some political play that goes on before any of this. All right. Now, April is the most active that most active month, pardon me, of the year. And it tends to be like that a lot of the time. And so the first thing you see is on April 1st, April Fool's Day, Mercury goes retrograde in Aries. Right off the rip. Mercury goes retrograde in Aries. Attitude. That's where shit gets aggressive. People start to argue, bicker, verbally assault, cut other people off. Nobody's hearing what anybody else has to say. On April 4th, Venus enters into Aries also. So people's love nature becomes more impulsive. People can be a little bit reckless with their feelings. On April 8th, 2024, we have our first solar eclipse. And that means a new moon in Aries. That's a new moon at exactly, let me think, like 19 degrees of Aries. Let me count. Yeah. Around 18 degrees, 19 degrees of Aries. On April 10th, you have Mars conjunct Saturn in Pisces. That's very interesting too. That's where fears and insecurities can get the best of people and have them doing some stuff that might not be in their best interest. Or if that could be something that goes on for us collectively. Now, on April 19th, the sun ingresses into Taurus. All right. Now, Taurus season is gonna bless us big time. When I say Taurus season, this year is going to be profitable for a lot of people. I mean, people are gonna come up during Taurus season. Once we get through the end of April, all the way until I would say June, hey, we in the land of milk and honey, baby. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. See, April 19th, the sun ingresses into Taurus. Then on 4/20, on 4/20, April 20th, one of the luckiest times, Jupiter is going to be conjunct to Uranus in Taurus. Money. That is money. If you play lotto, go play the lotto that day. And if you don't play the lotto, and I'm not telling you going to win the lotto. this is a joke. Whatever you do, hey, that's the day to be getting some money. You need to be targeting that date. I got to start my motherfucking calendar. It's some money out there that day. And if you are doing the right things, you can see yourself making a hell of a motherfucking profit. Or you could just see your life getting calm and you can see things getting better for you. Out of the blue, all of a sudden, something improves. Jupiter conjunct Uranus and Taurus. That is a change in fortune. And it's Taurus. So that's why I speak on it being materially. I don't even want to say. Hey, you can get some money that day. Now, on April 23rd, we have a full moon in Scorpio. So you can get money and sex. No, I'm just playing. But all bullshit to the side, man. That right there can be a very, very powerful time for a lot of people. A change in fortune for real. On April 25th, Mercury goes direct in Aries. You been getting some money, you be forgot Mercury went retrograde. Now, on April 28th, Mars is going to conjunct Neptune in Pisces. All right. On April 29th, Venus ingresses into its domicile of Taurus. That's beautiful. Venus, oh, Venus loves being in Taurus, maybe even more than Libra. Because Venus in Libra is so caught up in other people, sometimes it's hard to find the enjoyment or the pleasure. Nah. Venus in Taurus gonna get theirs. You gonna get yours. Now, on April 30th, Mars ingresses into its domicile of Aries. And that could sound really conflicted, but that's a good thing. Venus is at home. Mars is at home. You hear me? The sun is in Taurus. So that's actually where things are progressing very well. People know what they want. They're getting what they want. They're going after what they want. They're taking care of business, and the energy is being used in the way that it's supposed to be used. Excuse me. That right there could get good. Now, just smile. That brings us to May. All right. And the first thing you see is on May 2nd, Pluto goes retrograde in Aquarius. Pluto goes retrograde at 2 degrees of Aquarius. Was stationed there for about a month, 6 weeks. All right. On May 7th, we have a new moon in Taurus. So, yeah, that's about 16, 17 degrees Taurus. That's beautiful. That's peaceful. That's prosperous. The moon is exalted in Taurus. So to have a new moon in Taurus right there, while we still have Jupiter loosely conjunct to Uranus in Taurus, while we have Venus in Taurus, a very, very prosperous time. Now, I will also say that there's not a more profitable or prosperous time than wartime. And I'm not saying we're going to war yet. Like I said, I believe it. But for those that are into that theory, I will say there are certain things that can disastrously be profitable. Now, on May 13th, mark your calendars. This is another one of those very, very fortunate and prosperous days, lucky days when it comes to guala. I'm talking about guap. And this is going to be a double dose right here. All right? Or really, I'm going to say this. The week, and I want y'all to mark this, the week from May 12th all the way through May 20th is going to be one of the most profitable times that you can see. And for some people, from the most healthy, I'm not gonna say the most fun, but the coolest, the calmest. Hold on.
Can I go outside?
Yeah, you can give me a hug first. You up now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, daddy's boy. You know I love you?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So first of all, on May 13th, we'll have the sun exactly conjunct Uranus in Taurus. Another beautiful opportunity for people to come into some unique way for them to profit for them individually. On May 15th, Mercury enters Taurus. All right. On May 18th, Venus is conjunct Uranus in Taurus at the same time that the Sun is conjunct Jupiter in Taurus. Do you see that? That's a lot of ooh, it ain't even bullshit. Pun intended. That's bread. That's food. That's money. That's sex. That's rest. It's refuge. It's calm. Hey, May is beautiful. May is beautiful. On May 7th, new moon in Taurus. May 13th, Sun conjunct Uranus in Taurus. May 15th, Mercury enters Taurus. May 18th, Venus is going to be conjunct Uranus in Taurus, while the Sun is going to be conjunct Jupiter in Taurus. And there is not a luckier time than that when it comes to finances. That doesn't mean everything's going to be all right. And money can be what brings about some people's downfall. But when it comes to finances, material things, May of 2024 is going to be one of those times where people's fortunes are going to change. Or things just get better for them, or calm down for them, or they're able to take care of something that makes them feel safe, but that changes their circumstances. Now, on May 20th, Gemini season begins. On May 23rd, we have a full moon in Sagittarius. That's where things can get interesting. That's a full moon conjunct my Saturn. Ooh-wee. On May 23rd, Venus also enters Gemini. I forgot to say that. Venus ingresses into Gemini. So that shit gonna be crazy. On May 25th, Jupiter enters Gemini, where it will spend the next year or so. We'll be done with Jupiter in Taurus. Jupiter goes into Gemini. And I mean, Jupiter is blessing, but Gemini, it's hard to see it because they're all over the place. So you need to get the most that you can out of Jupiter and Taurus for this next few months right here. Now, that brings us to June. And on June 3rd, 2024, Mercury ingresses into its domicile of Gemini. All right. On June 6th, we have a new moon in Gemini. At about 15, 16 degrees of Gemini. On June 16th, first of all, Venus ingresses into Cancer. On June 17th, Mercury ingresses into Cancer. So we have another one of those energetic shifts. Whatever happens there in June, people become more focused on family and feelings. Home. On June 20th, we have the summer solstice. Right around, I believe that's happening at around, as far as here in the United States, it'll be like 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock. will be that solstice where the sun moves into Cancer. All right. On June 21st, immediately, we'll have a full moon in Capricorn. So as soon as we get into Cancer season, we have a full moon in Capricorn to kick it off. So that'll be, a time for you to address your responsibilities despite your feelings. On June 29th, 2024, Saturn will go retrograde in Pisces again. And that will be at 19 degrees of Pisces. And Saturn will have a retrograde journey from 19 degrees of Pisces to 11 degrees of Pisces. So what's crazy is just to put that into perspective, because it felt like Saturn hasn't moved much in a whole year. For these next 6 months, Saturn is going to go from 3 degrees where it is right now all the way to 19 degrees. So it's going to go deep into Pisces. A lot of people for this next 6 months is going to face whatever those fears are forcibly for their own better good. All right? I need a few more of y'all to hit that like button for me. Now, back to the shades. That brings us to July. And as I said, by the time we get to July, we get through that first half of the year, things will be a lot calmer. Things will be a lot different. So first of all, on July 2nd, Neptune goes retrograde in Pisces again at 28 degrees of Pisces. Maybe 29. I got to look at it again. But Neptune goes retrograde. On July 2nd, Mercury also enters Leo. On July 5th, we have a new moon in Cancer. On July 11th, Venus ingresses into Leo. On July 20th, 2024, Mars ingresses into Gemini. Then on July 21st, we have a full moon in Capricorn. Yeah. Loosely conjunct Pluto. Ooh, my neck hurts. Hold up. Ooh. Oh, did you hear that? Oh. Shit. Now, where we at next? Now, next, on July 22nd, the sun will ingress into its domicile of Leo. No, that didn't hurt. Felt good. My shit be fucked up. And look at my posture. I should be sitting like this. I'm sitting down like this. This is me sitting up. This is how I'm supposed to be sitting. But I need to. That's why I have the leg issue that I have from my back. Or the nerve issues that I have from my back. Either way. But that's beside the fact. On July 25th, 2024, Mercury enters its domicile of Virgo. And then on July 26th, Chiron goes retrograde in Aries again. Now, when we come into August, August is probably one of the least active months for us. On August 4th, Venus ingresses into Virgo. Where it falls, Venus hates Virgo, so that's just where relationships become more about responsibility than affection. And people are seeking perfection. So there's a constant feeling of dissatisfaction that people don't speak on with Venus and Virgo. Now, on August 4th, Mercury goes retrograde again in Virgo. That's going to be a motherfucker. I'm telling you now, that's going to be a motherfucker. Also on August 4th, we have a new moon in Leo. So if you're on top of your shit, you should feel confident. Look at it like that. On August 19th, we have a full moon in Aquarius. So you have nothing going on really strongly. We might have some aspects going on, but there's nothing majorly going on in that 2 weeks. It's one of the quietest 2 weeks that we've had in a while. In between that full moon. Then on August 22nd, the sun will ingress into Virgo. We'll begin Virgo season. Where the little stuff counts. On August 28th, Mercury is going to go direct. In Leo, though, Mercury is going to go from Virgo to Leo in that retrograde. All right. For those of you that know. Fix this. Hold up. There we go. There we go. On August 29th, Venus will ingress into its domicile of Libra. All right. Now, that brings us to September. And September gets a little bit more interesting again. All right. So September 1st, 2024, Uranus goes retrograde in Taurus. Right off the rip. Also, that day, Pluto is going to ingress back into Capricorn for the last time for the next 248 years. You hear me? For the last time, for the next 248 years. And we'll really be done with this when we get done with it. All right? On September 2nd, 2024, we have a new moon in Virgo. All right. On September 4th, Mars is going to ingress into Cancer where it falls. And energy gets frustrating and passive aggressive and aggressive. And it just gets really fucking... On September 8th, Mercury ingresses into its domicile of Virgo again. On September 17th, we have a full moon or a full lunar eclipse in Pisces. All right. Yeah. That's something to look at. Because that will be conjunct Neptune. A full moon in Pisces conjunct Neptune. Remember that. That's a main line to the divine. On September 22nd is the autumnal equinox, or the fall solstice, or the sun ingresses into Libra. All right. On September 22nd, at the same time that we have that solstice, Venus will go into Scorpio a lot earlier than it usually does. So Venus then goes into Scorpio, where it just left. It's crazy that we're talking about it again, but this is also 9 months away. But yeah, Venus goes back into Scorpio. And then on September 26th, 2024, Mercury will ingress into Libra. All right. Now, this brings us to the last quota. And on October 2nd, we have a new moon or a solar eclipse in Libra. So we're back in them eclipses. And that will be occurring. Let me look. At about 11 degrees of Libra. On October 9th, Jupiter goes retrograde in Gemini. Yeah. On October 9th, Jupiter goes retrograde in Gemini. And communication can break down, or just shit just like damn. You realize how sloppy things have become. Just like that. Disorganized. Might even be a better term. Now, on October 11th, Pluto goes direct at 29 degrees of Capricorn. For the last time in Capricorn. All right. On what's the other day? Oh, on October 13th, Mercury enters Scorpio. On October 17th, Venus ingresses into Sagittarius, where it is right now. On October 17th, we also have a full moon in Aries that we need to pay attention to. A full moon at 26 degrees of Aries. On October 22nd, the sun ingresses into Scorpio. Now, in November, we have a new moon in Scorpio on November 1st, right off the rip. Things are very intense. On November 2nd, Mercury ingresses into Sagittarius. On October 3rd, Mars ingresses into Leo. So that fire energy picks up. We have that full moon in Aries, and all of a sudden shit gets intense and fiery. Just that fast. You know, like back in the late 90s when wrestling used to be on, and they used to have Jerry Lawler, the King, and Jim Ross on there. And when Stone Cold or The Undertaker came out, Jim Ross would say, all business was about to pick up, King. That's what happens right there. Business picks up. Shit gets real, per se. Hold up, I need a drink. Yeah, I know. And then on November 11th, so 11/11/2024, Venus ingresses into Capricorn. All right. On November 12th, Saturn goes direct in Pisces. At 11 degrees of Pisces, Saturn stations direct. Where it will then go all the way to Aries, then retrograde back into Pisces again. So yeah, shit'll get crazy. We'll get the other half of this Saturn in Pisces shit. Which is crazy for me because it goes from my 5th house to my 6th house. Like this year, the last year and a half, and this first 18 months is in my 5th house. Then that second 18 months, it goes to my 6th house. So the health issues I be worried about now, I gotta make sure that they really don't come around then. But that's a whole different conversation. This ain't about me. Now, on November 15th, we have a full moon in Taurus. All right. November 15th, 2024, full moon in Taurus. On November 19th, Pluto ingresses into Aquarius, where it will be for the next 20 years. All right. On November 21st, the sun will ingress into Sagittarius. On November 25th, Mercury will retrograde in Sagittarius. Seems like it's a bunch of Mercury retrograde this year, huh? Then on November 30th, we'll have a new moon in Sagittarius. At about 9 degrees of Sagittarius, 8 or 9 degrees of Sagittarius. On December 6th, 2024, we're almost done, y'all. Mars goes retrograde in Leo. Pay attention to that. That's where ego is going to cause conflict with people. That's where you start to see maybe the rumblings of real, war. Real, people doing what they want because they can. There could be a lot of machismo. I like that word. I don't know about y'all, but the word machismo does something to me. Like, machismo. Maybe it's because I have it. Fuck Riz. Baby, I'm like Razor Ramon. I got machismo. But that also sounds like something you don't want on your dick or something. Machismo. What the fuck? But on December 6th, we also have Venus entering into Aquarius. All right. Venus will ingress Aquarius. And things aren't so personal. On December 7th, Neptune goes direct in Pisces again. At about 27 degrees of Pisces, 26 degrees of Pisces. On December 15th, we have a full moon in Gemini. On December 21st, that is the winter solstice and the beginning of Capricorn season for 2024. And then on December 29th, Chiron goes direct again, like we just experienced a few days ago. And then on December 30th, 2024, we have a new moon in Capricorn to close out the year. So, that's everything going on in 2024 for you. I hope y'all took notes or did whatever you could do, or you can go back and watch it later. But I haven't been here for a week, and I want to make sure I brought y'all something that was worth using. You hear me? Bring you some news you can use. But yeah, the most intense part of the year will be these first 5 months. But if you can make it through the intensity of these first 4 months, in May, you reap the reward. In May, we can look back on the spoils of war, or we can lay down and lick our wounds. Alright? In May, we ain't gonna play. Now, I'm gonna open the floor for questions for another 30 minutes or so, and then I gotta go. So let's make it count, if we can, for each other. We here. Let me help you. Tina Claire Marie, you said, how will Pluto affect your moon in Aquarius, first house of Capricorn? Definitely some big changes in the way you process your emotions. Also, you know, I would feel like you feel free. You're gonna, there's something inside of you that wants to be free, a different part of your nature inside of you that presents itself to you. You're introduced to a new dimension of you through some type of intense experience you have, or intense emotional experience, to be more specific. Yes, in the first house. I saw that. That's why I incorporated that. That's why I said a new part of your personality will present itself to you through some type of intense experience. Or there just might be something you change about yourself. There just might be something where, you know what, something inside of you changes, so it changes everything about your persona, even your appearance in a way. That right there. I did what, Pisces Princess's Paranormal Playground? Lil Big M, you say your birthday is January 25th. How do I think the Pluto transit in your sun? Probably big time transfer. I mean, you know, Pluto transit in your sun ain't easy. There's a lot of stuff that could happen with Pluto transit in your sun. What house? I mean, it's powerful. It's something that's gonna change you most definitely. What house? Serafina, where you been? Ooh, something. I mean, that's go. You know, that's easy to say something about your relationship. The nature of your love nature and your relationships with people. Maybe somebody, you know, that has been a friend throughout your life or something like that could become more at some point. I don't think we'll see a lot of those transits in politics. There's not a lot changing, Valley or Valhalla, because you have to think about it. The choices that we have are Biden and Trump in America. There's gonna be different karmic, but that's not. I mean, it's not. It's a mix of the same old shit as far as politics. There might be a change unless there's Trump. Unless there's something that rules where they say Trump really cannot be on the ballot in several states, which had already been ruled, like in certain states like Washington and Colorado and Oregon. There's a few states where Trump has been removed from the ballot because of the January 6th stuff that happened in 2021. Yeah, 2021. And so, unless they can get Trump back on the ballot, there might be another way that they have to go. Valhalla, that's a foolish thing to say. And I'm not for Biden either. Biden's a OC now motherfucker that don't even know what the fuck is going on. If you're electing Biden into office, again, you're electing the people that control Biden. That's the truth about Biden. Now, Trump is different. He's not controlled, but that doesn't mean he's healthy. That doesn't mean that shit is healthy at all. That's the problem with Biden. You're letting Biden's handlers, whoever's Biden's handlers, into office. And politically, the United States looks weak with Joe Biden in office, to be honest. And it's crazy because he's a Scorpio. But yeah. But that also lets you know that there's more to it. With Biden being a Scorpio, there's more to the equation. Well, Valhalla, Donald Trump is a criminal. And a moron. Biden is a corpse that doesn't, who hasn't helped any. He's made things worse. And Donald Trump is a criminal and a moron and somebody who will lead the world into destruction. Biden will let it happen. Trump will make it happen. That's the truth of those two. We're not really presented with, unless some radical candidate comes out of the blue, which could happen with all of these Aquarius placements. Unless some breath of fresh air and some new radical candidate just pops out of the blue. That's just like, damn, this is what we've been waiting for. Whether it really is or not. Those are the two choices. And that's a possibility. With all of this, with Pluto, look over this next few months. as we've been talking about with Pluto and the sun both ingressing into Aquarius on the same day, it very well could be possible that some new candidate, some independent person comes out and speaks differently. Like I said, this shit is crazy. This shit is crazy. The problem with and I'm not talking about politics, because Donald Trump is not a politician. He has political people that side with him, but Donald Trump is a personality. Donald Trump is an individual who incites ignorance. He instigates, pokes, and provokes. That's why he's so popular in this day and age. He used to be a businessman. He's not a businessman anymore. He wants power. It's not about business anymore. It used to be about money. He had money. See, once you've had money for a long time, you start to want something else. Motherfuckers got money. What can I do with this money? This motherfucker bought him a presidency. Money don't be enough. Money is the root of it, but it's not. It's never. It's not that. You think Joe Biden don't have money? You think he's not a millionaire, if not close to a billion? Like, they got bread. The Clintons, they might have come from Arkansas. They wasn't broke. The Bushes got money. Yeah. The world was not at peace. The world was not at peace. The cost of living was still rising. It's all part of inflation and a part of life. Donald Trump brought COVID is one of the individuals that brought COVID to the world. Well, for whatever reason, we can't. You want to talk about accepting reality, and I'm not going to get political because you won't win. The plain and simple fact is, whatever happened with COVID-19 that is still happening is something that was done to the human race by the powers that be. That's why I stay away from politics. Neither one of them are a good choice. Biden or Trump. I'm not speaking for Biden. Fuck Joe Biden. But Donald Trump is not a good man. Neither one of them are a good choice for a presidency of the country. That's the truth. Neither one of them are good. Like, are you gonna shit in your left hand or your right hand? I mean, it is what it is. That's the truth of them. That's why I said, unless something happens independently, something new in that. There has to be something new that happens. And that's very much possible. I can't vote, so I don't give a damn. And I also understand the presidents of the United States are figureheads. But back to what I was saying about COVID, without going into that, that is obviously something that was done purposely to the people of Earth. Gas is just as cheap now as it was then. What do you mean it fluctuates? back and forth. I don't know. You done listen to somebody tell you some bullshit. Gas fluctuates. That's how it goes. And here's the thing. If you want to break down the simple politics of Republican and Democrats, do you want money or do you want freedom? That's what the question is with Republican and Democrat. The Republicans offer you, and that's why it's liberal and conservative. The Republican, and it's not even that anymore because Donald Trump is far from a conservative. You just have morons that say, them liberals know what the fuck they're talking about. I'm unvaxxed. Like, let me finish. And you're talking about money ain't everything. You're actually, Valerie, if you're willing to trade morality for money, if you're willing to trade peace of mind because you want shit to be cheaper, especially being Latina, you want to trade, you want to allow Mexican people to get treated the way that they get treated so you can make a little bit money because you legal? Man, and they do it anyway. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. You want this shit to get even more racially charged so your interest rate can go down, then you might not even need it. I'm just saying. That's the way I feel about it. And I'm not voting for neither. I can't vote. And I don't get, like I said, I wouldn't vote for Biden either. Fuck Biden too. Y'all are getting it twisted. See, I'm not the type of person who chooses sides. I go for what's right. And neither one of them are right. Biden is a sneaky criminal who plays dead and has a whole bunch of shit going on behind the scenes because there's people that are controlling with him. If you think Biden is a... and Biden is a figurehead of a movement. So, I mean, Trump is more individual, but it's still the same thing. Like I said, when you are implementing Biden, you are implementing his son and the people that work behind the scenes with him. It's not just Joe Biden. With Trump, it's Trump. It's Trump. And it's the people that follow him and his yes men and the people that are going to do because of his power and the power of his personality. It's not the power of his, it's not the power of his good. It's not his good intentions. Trump don't want to help you. He wants more power. He wants more influence. That's all I'm saying. Is you have to figure out what's best for you internally. And in my case, personally, I don't fuck with neither one of them. But the question of Democrat versus Republican is a question of, do you want freedom or do you want money? The Republicans offer you more money, stuff is cheaper, taxes are lower, the oil field is booming, businesses seem like there's more flourishing, there's more war. War brings business, oil brings business, racial divide brings business. All of that shit brings business, and that's what Republican offer. The Republican, now the Democrats, they want to offer you freedom. You can make the choice to do this. You can do this, but it's gonna cost you a little more. Things are gonna be higher because we're not concerned about that. Things are gonna they're like, so you have to just figure out what's best for you personally. Now, this everybody here ain't from the United States. That's why a lot of people logged out. That's why a lot of people logged out. A lot of people don't want to hear this shit. And I don't even like to talk about it. But there is no lesser of the two evils. Even 13 Moon Lily. Not with those two. It's just with the choices politically right now. That's why I say Pluto. Look, Pluto in Capricorn is beautiful because this is a political energy. But when you look, and me having the moon in Libra is allowing me to look at this objectively. But when you look at this right here, like I said, they see there's not a good choice. People are fed up with that shit. Like, man, this shit is not better. Like, if Trump goes into office, it's not gonna get better. It's gonna go back to how it was, which was not better. If you want to be honest, if you want to take the racial shit away from it, the most peaceful time we had was when Obama was in office, motherfucker. And when Clinton was in office before that. And it has nothing to do with Republicans. It's the nature of the individual. But people that want money and people that don't give a fuck and that want their interest rate down gonna say some shit like Obama's fucking up the country. Build the wall. Like, what the fuck? No. And then people got so fucking scared of Trump and so fed up with Trump that they never did their research on Joe Biden. They thought they let Biden into office because of his connection to Obama. He was Obama's vice president, so he got to be half-ass all right now, man. Motherfucker 138 years old. And it's only been 3 years. So we knew this. That's the truth of politics. That shit ain't what's up sometimes. So, with Pluto going from Capricorn to Aquarius, what you see is there has to be something different. You could actually see people say, hey, man, there's Trump, there's Biden, and I don't want neither one of them motherfuckers. We need something else. And you can see in this next year when the candidate, because they're already doing debates and primaries, you can see over this next year as this picks up, somebody start to separate themselves out of that Republican pool who's just a little bit different, who knows how to use their personality but also could disconnect themselves from Trump's policies. And that could be where you see something change. Russell Brand is not an American. He can't run for office. Even though Arnold Arnold Russell Brand, no. But what you see is also is like I'm telling you now, if it's about money and with Republicans, and I'm not like I said, we can't I don't want Biden anymore either. But with Republican, this is just to set in the setting the natural process of things into motion. With Republicans and with it being about money, look at the course of history. Then war is going to come. War is going to come. Whether it be Trump or another candidate, war will come. If you think China sent that spy balloon over here for no reason, you're foolish. They wouldn't do something so blatantly. Like, we never heard of anything like that. For the United States to know that they would do, and this shit to go over the whole United States before they get the courage to shoot this shit down. If you think Russia, and not even Russia, if you think North Korea isn't paying attention to the tension between the United States and China over Taiwan, you'd be foolish. If you don't think Vladimir Putin eventually gets frustrated and fires off some type of either tactile nuclear weapon or biological weapon, you are foolish. If you think this shit in Palestine ends peacefully, you are foolish. This is not fear mongering. This is truth telling. Now, a Democrat is going to try to politically play and keep America relatively separate from that. A Republican is going to understand that war is big business, and they can and weakness is the last thing that they feel America should represent. So they are going to be the type of person, the type of individual who is more assertive. That's just the nature of things. It's not a person's fault either. It's not the people that vote Republican or Democrat either, because neither one is right. I need you to understand that no one. What I've said here is not me. It is not me preferring Democrat over Republican. No, it's me objectively letting you know that's what the choices are. But the only way for these conflicts between these countries to end, with Russia and Ukraine, with the Middle East, with the United States and North Korea, not the United States and China, because they don't want to destroy each other. They can probably keep from doing that. But when it comes to the United States and North Korea, when it comes to the war in the Middle East, when it comes to the war in the Ukraine, those conflicts will not end without a major world power getting involved. They can't. It can't. And I know Russia is a major world power, but unless they just wiped Ukraine off the map, which no other world power would allow, then there's no way that can end. Putin's not going to back down. Zelensky's not going to back down. They're not going to surrender their country to Russia. And the United States and Britain and France would not allow that. There would be some type of nuclear jockeying for position. It's just truth. When it comes to the North Korea and the United States, North Korea is going to keep provoking the United States because North Korea has a nuclear weapon or several of them. And they know that they will be condemned if they fire it first. So they provoke, and then when America does something aggressively, then they can attack. But then they have a out, say America provoked this. And then they have China and Russia then upset about it. When it comes to the Middle East, this is a war that's been going on. Unless somebody intervenes, which will cause an issue globally, it will not end. It would take America or somebody, and if America goes and does something to Palestine, that's fucking wrong. And they won't. But it would take something like that. Or it would take one of those Muslim countries or several of them to align and say, you know what? Boom, we're attacking Israel. We're taking over Gaza. You're not going to attack Palestine anymore. You're not going to genocide in Palestine anymore. And then that happened. And then world powers. So it's not something that is somebody saying, well, I see this in astrology. No, it's just natural common sense, and it's the natural progression of things. Things have been put into place that cannot be reversed. It's like the Lord of the Rings when and even in the Hobbit, before that. Once Bilbo got that ring away from Gollum and put it on, and Sauron was able to sense him, it put some things into motion that no matter what's going on in the other places, the little conflicts, there is something that's going on that's bringing it all together into a central point. To where it has to be some type of conflict or resolution through conflict. And humans are not going to come to a peaceful resolution. We're not going to all decide, hey, we're going to leave each other alone and never fire any weapons anymore. It's not how humans work. Somebody has to be in charge. Somebody has to be in control. Yep. All of that. Hey, I'm gonna come through with some type of teachable moment tomorrow. I don't know, it might not be long, but I'll be coming through with some type of teachable moment tomorrow. I got a class tomorrow with one of my students also, so we won't be here for as long as we were today, but we'll be here for a while. And then Friday we'll hit you with a top 5. Yeah, but there's people worry about nuclear bombs. There's all type of biological weapons and different types of bombs. They have sonar bombs that they can drop that can kill every living person but leave all of the structures standing. They could drop a bomb right now that would, through sound waves, will kill all of us but leave everything still standing. You drop fucking dead. That's the truth. They've had that since I read about that when I was in 7th grade. Yeah, electromagnetic fields. They'll make you sick. They'll poison the water. That's what you got to worry about now. The systems get into the water. Don't even have to come do any attack. War will never be. Anyway, war will never be what it was before. Sorry, I was trying to hear what my kids were doing. War will never be what it was before. You know, and I hate that we had to talk about all this political stuff at the end of this, but it's cool. War will never be what it was before. It's not gonna be people in the field shooting at each other and all that. Like, they do that a little, but it's not gonna be that. It's not ground warfare. It's gonna be sicknesses and bombs and like contaminants, all of it. Like, yeah, like there is that type of shit. Hacking the electrical grid. Yes, confusion. Exactly. Make you start killing yourself and each other. Just like on the movie on Netflix, whatever it's called. But yeah. It's not going to be armies in the trenches fighting. That will be a distraction. And y'all better watch these motherfucking while I'm scaring y'all. Y'all better watch these while we on the fear mongering. Y'all better watch these earthquakes and volcanoes, because that shit ain't for nothing either. All of these earthquakes in Texas and in places where there's normally not earthquakes, all that drilling, all that fracking, or there could be some type of volcanic thing that comes. Are you scared yet? Nah, ain't nothing to be scared of. It's just life. You got to get right with you inside. You know? Let me see if I have this, because I'm looking for something. Let me get to this right here. One of my favorite astrologers, Grant Dewey, he wrote about Saturn in Pisces. I'm going to read what he wrote. This is not my words, but this is one of the things that I also attribute to my interpretation as I grew and went through it. He said, Saturn in Pisces causes you to seek vindication within yourself. You struggle with the world. Your struggle with the world is the inner struggle between the good and the bad within yourself. And you're capable of being content with self-approval when you've mastered yourself. And if from that point introspection goes deeper, you're going to realize that self-approval is never enough. And it's going to require that self-approval be further served by approval from other people. And your defense against the hardships of life, and, life is going to seem hard with Saturn in Pisces, harder than ever. He notes that right there. Is going to lie and not in the open struggle with life, but in the internal struggle to deal with circumstances, as I said. You get what I'm saying? You have to find a way in yourself to make life less difficult. Because life is just life. You understand? It's about what's going on inside. It's not about the open struggle with life's difficulties with Saturn in Pisces. It's about dealing with the stuff inside of yourself so life isn't so hard to you. And it's like This in its worst form is going to result in introversion, withdrawal, brooding, giving up the struggle, and you know, holding up and worrying and like going back into old ways just because you feel sorry for yourself. And in its middle form, you're gonna have to fight off lethargy and withdraw and find the key to your problem with inside yourself. Like I said, that's what happened when you had that retrograde. Is Saturn, when Saturn hit Pisces, like all this stuff went is like things got bad for a lot of people real fast, especially me. Things got really bad. And I got really worried and really stressed. And right at the end of it, I started having these health issues that comes from the worry and stress. Whether they're actual health issues or psychosomatic stuff. Either way. Dealing with that, then I realized that I got this now, and the fear is only going to make it worse. There's the retrograde. Now, on the other side of this is just realizing that, hey, the problem is inside of you. It's not with the world. It's not with the world. For real. The world is just the world. Your problems exist inside of you. Hey, we got about 15 more minutes and then we gone. So if anybody has any questions, I'm still here. We got political. I'm trying to read this. I don't know who Little Beezy is. Do y'all know a Little Beezy? And Christina Alokochika. Uranus squaring your Pluto, is that bad? It can be. It's uncomfortable changes in your life. Feels like everything is just falling apart. Everything ain't, things are just crazy and chaotic. But it's giving you an opportunity to make something better. But it ain't gonna be, it's gonna be like all of a sudden, like your whole world is different and it fucking sucks. It's uncomfortable, it's scary. And I mean, you're gonna have to find a way to uniquely, adapt or be destroyed. Adapt or be destroyed. Hey, have y'all ever seen the morning show on Apple TV with Jennifer Aniston and Reese Witherspoon? That's a good show. That's a good show. A lot of drama, but that's a good show. Lil Big M, by the way, I'm telling you one more time. I have to do it here, but you don't listen any other time. Look. Stop. I don't care if it's a music video. Do not share links, YouTube links, in my Facebook group. Do not share YouTube links unless it is my video in my Facebook group. I understand it might be a song you like, a video you thought was inspiring. Go make you a group and put it there. Stop sharing them videos or links to videos in my group. Any more questions before we go? Hey, the books are open. I need some business. I ain't hurting, but it's time to get to it. You hear me? I'm also going to take on one more apprentice too. Like I said, I was waiting, and I had one of my students confirmed. I'm about a third of the way done. Really, I'm almost halfway, but a third of the way done with Love 12. So we progressing where it's almost time for us to get one more, and then I'm done for 3 years. So get at me. And if any of y'all are interested in any astrological readings, don't get at me in these comments. Get at me in my email, which is mr.turner1300@gmail.com. That's mr.turner1300@gmail.com. Now, Jayski, you said Pluto will be 3 degrees away from your ascendant in 17 days. But it won't be in your first house for another year or two. Will it still be very intense? Absolutely. Instead of you changing, some crazy stuff might happen to you. Not like something you should be worried about like dying, but just some crazy stuff might happen to you. That brings about a change in your life. Pluto in the 12th house attracts experiences to it. It creates this vacuum. So you might be doing some stuff. You might not. It might not even be something you're supposed to be doing, but you just might get caught up in something that just, you know, it makes some stuff happen for you, or to you, for the better or worse. For better or worse. We'll be alright though. I'm leaving in about 8 minutes. Just better make it count. Cap rising. Pluto been on your ascendant since 2008. Oh, you growing up. Pluto will never be on my ascendant. It was in my first house when I was born, and for some years thereafter. But Pluto ain't never gonna be on my ascendant. Never. This is about to be loud as hell, y'all. It's about to be a loud sound. Hold on. Never mind. It was quiet. So, I gotta come up with something I'm gonna teach you tomorrow. Malik Brown, you said real shit on your Pluto 12th. Yeah. It's just living. It's just living. Yep. I'm just smiling today, though. I don't feel at my best, but I feel blessed. That's the truth. And I'm gonna be okay. We gonna be okay. Gonna be super good, really. Yeah. This year is, that's right, this year is gonna be healing and getting my strength back. For the first 6 months, I'm gonna use Jupiter and everything Jupiter's doing to just get straight. So yeah. All we need is love, something like that. Hey, you know what I noticed? Did I say anything about Uranus going direct? Hold up. Now that I think about it, I didn't see Uranus go direct. I mean, Uranus go, oh yeah, I did. September 1st. September 1st, Uranus goes retrograde. I was like, dang, wait, does Uranus not go retrograde next year? But it always goes retrograde. And the outer planets going retrograde are not as effective as y'all think. We talk about it and I touch on it, but it's not as, I mean, they're retrograde half of the year a lot of the time. The outer planets being retrograde, they mean something, but it's not as, it's more subtle. And when I say the outer planets, I'm talking about Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. Saturn, those are something definitely to behold. Even though Saturn stays retrograde half the year also, that's something that you need to pay attention to. Because the retrograde process with Saturn aids in the mastery of the energies involved. That's something to remember. So we're leaving in 5 minutes. Does any 4 minutes? That's 3, 4. Does anybody have any questions before we go? Remember, as far as this month goes, new moon in Capricorn on the 11th. Mars goes into Capricorn tomorrow. New moon in Capricorn on the 11th at 21 degrees. All right. On January 20th, both the Sun and Pluto are going to ingress into Aquarius on the same day within 3 hours of each other. And that is something to pay attention to. When we talk about something different happening and all of a sudden another option presents itself, that is the possibility at something like that. Even if it just means for you personally. But yeah. All of that. I think we're fixing to go though.
Yeah, that's great.
Hey, y'all make sure you keep that smile pumping throughout the remainder of the day, man. Find a beautiful place inside of yourself to operate from with the moon in Libra. And maybe it feels foreign to you. But you gotta take that trip. Yeah. We'll be back tomorrow with that Libra moon vibrational therapy. And we'll come with a teachable moment. What did he say? One more time. It's about balance. I appreciate all your support.